This is the Eat Well, Think Well, Live Well podcast. I'm Lisa Salisbury, and this is episode 149, Using GLP-1s. Here's the support you are missing. Welcome to Eat Well, Think Well, Live Well, the podcast for busy women who want to lose weight without constantly counting, tracking, or stressing over every bite. I'm Lisa Salisbury, a certified health, weight loss, and life coach, and most importantly, a recovered chronic dieter. Here, you'll learn to listen to your body and uncover the reasons you're reaching for food when you're not truly hungry, freeing you to focus on a healthier, more fulfilling approach to eating. All right, you may have noticed a little shift on my Instagram lately, and I wanted to do a full episode to address that. If you saw or heard the title, and you're not on my Instagram, and you're like, oh, wait, GLP-1s, that's not for me. Wait, don't swipe away just yet. This episode isn't just for women who are already using GLP-1s, although if you are, hi, welcome. It's also for women secretly considering it, but feeling ashamed or worried, and women who have ruled it out for themselves, but are curious why others choose it. So let's jump right in and start with the elephant in the room. There is a stigma and a secrecy around weight loss medications, especially for women who already feel guilty for wanting to lose weight. I often have consults with women who are like, should I even be trying to lose weight? Or I just feel so stuck. So maybe I should just accept and love my body how it is right now. As if we can't do both at the same time. Although I think the body positivity movement has done wonders for a lot of women, it often ignores the fact that some women just want to feel better in their clothes. And by that, I mean less restricted, no waistbands digging in, and not having a lot of extra fabric to deal with. We've got summer and hot weather around the corner, and the heat and extra adipose tissue often do not mix well. And so that makes you uncomfortable in clothing. There is a lot of discomfort in clothing that has zero to do with the appearance of the body in the clothes. Maybe you want to decrease pain. Here's something that always surprises people is this example. For every pound that you lose, you're taking 4 pounds of pressure off your knees. So if you lose 10 pounds, that's like relieving 40 pounds of pressure from that joint. I found that information from the Arthritis Foundation, and they talk about it because it can make a big difference when it comes to knee pain or even preventing osteoarthritis down the road. I really could go on and on about reasons you might want to lose weight that have nothing to do with aesthetics, but also if it is about aesthetics for you, that's totally fine too. There should be no guilt or shame around wanting to lose weight. Don't let anyone tell you that you aren't being body positive if you have a weight loss goal. It's not one or the other. We take care of the things that we love, and that is how we lose weight, by loving our body and taking care of it. So that was kind of a little bit of a side note, but add to that the fact that people out there will then further shame you if you decide to use weight loss medications. Not only do you want to lose weight, but now you're going to use medications. And the most common thing I see is that people act like GLP-1s are some sort of cheating shortcut. This is downright false. Let me just say that again. GLP-1s are not a cheat, and they are not a shortcut. They are a tool. These meds don't do the emotional or the behavioral work. They allow you to do that work. So let me be clear. Taking care of your health is never cheating. And if this is the route you choose to go, that is perfect. Great. No worries. Okay? These medications are not a magic fix. They don't do the deep work of changing habits, managing emotional eating, or building trust with your body. What they can do is create that window of opportunity. If this medication somehow took all the excess food you ate and turned off the calories, allowing you to eat way beyond your caloric needs and sit on the couch and still lose weight, then maybe you would have a shortcut argument. But that's not how they work at all. These medications just make those lifestyle changes possible for someone who has tried many, many times. GLP-1 medications help regulate hunger and satiety signals in your brain and gut. I won't get into the science of how exactly they do that. You can Google that. But for someone who's been stuck in a cycle of intense cravings, constant hunger, or emotional eating, this is a huge relief. It's like the noise finally quiets down, and that quiet is where we can start to do the work together. Oh, but wait, isn't that what coaching is supposed to do? Are you thinking, wait, Lisa, I've heard you talk about how to manage and reduce cravings using your coaching tools. Are you saying those don't work, but the medication does? Everyone should just do that now? No. But also, I'm not saying that. This is where bio-individuality comes in. This is a concept I learned through my training at the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and it means that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to health. What works beautifully for one woman, whether it's journaling through cravings, building structured meal plans, or working through urges, might not be enough for someone else whose biology is wired a little differently. GLP-1s are just one more example of how we can honor your bioindividuality. If your brain and body respond well to that support, it's not a failure of willpower or a sign that coaching didn't work. It's just a reflection of what your body needed in this season to help quiet the noise so you could actually do the deeper work. And I promise you, there is deeper work to do here. And really, isn't this the goal either way? Isn't this what we want either way? So no, it's not that I'm telling you coaching doesn't work anymore. I absolutely still have plenty of clients that are not using these medications and they are losing weight. Absolutely. You've probably read my testimonials. People lose weight with coaching for sure, but also some people don't. And I've also had some people that have really enjoyed using these medications along with my coaching. So I just wanted to come out and be really clear and really take a stand that I support anyone who wants to use these to further their weight loss goals. And not only do I say, yay, you, and great job, I want to actually support you even more. And that's why I want to tell you that coaching still matters here. And it might even matter more for those of my clients that are on GLP-1 medications. So if you remember from my episode with double board certified obesity medicine specialist, Dr. Lindsay Ogle, she agreed that patients on these medications need coaching and support just as much as someone who isn't using them. But the problem is most doctors don't offer day-to-day behavior change support. Obviously, many of my clients are getting these medications from their primary care physician, and they are just not set up to check on your food journal and make sure you're getting all your water and your steps in. That's not a failure on their part. That's not our medical system failing you. It's just not their job to do that. That's not in their job description. By the way, side note, it's mine. It's my job description. So in addition, they are not equipped to manage some of the emotional aspects that will crop up. For example, if you are used to using food in the evening as a stress reducer, or another time I see this a lot is like when kids come home from school and it's a really stressful time and everyone's having a snack and you're like, yes, I better have a snack too. When you go on these medications and you no longer can do that, where do those emotions go? You have to learn other ways of coping with stress and sadness and frustration and just life. We use food and alcohol to manage a lot of these emotions. This is what a lot of us do because maybe that's all we've known. And as you know, I love to say, food works. It does give you that dopamine hit your brain is looking for. And when the emotions are coming on strong, you just need a bit of ease from that. And so, you know what? A little snacky snack does that. But when you're on these medications, food's not going to be very tempting anymore. So even though it's likely that when your dosage is correct, you will no longer be driven to the pantry, you'll actually kind of wander in, look around, realize you aren't really hungry or that just no food sounds good. And you'll be left with this like negative emotion and no coping mechanism. So that's just one example of some of the emotional aspects that can crop up when you are on these medications. And it's just a little bit different than what you see as far as other emotional things that I coach on with weight loss without medication. So this is a major part that I will be coaching on in my new GLP-1 coaching program. So your doctor also probably didn't give you much help on the nutrition side. Again, that's not her job. As your coach, I will take a look at your food journal, see where your protein and fiber and water intake is at. I'm going to help you work through digestive symptoms, constipation, bloating, and answer those questions that come up on the nutrition side. The third critical thing that a coaching provides that your doctor cannot is to help you build the sustainable habits so that if it's appropriate for you sometime in the future, you can come off those medications at some point. So this is the time to be building and working on those habits. If you are choosing to use a GLP-1, I know you've tried to lose weight before. I know this is not the first time for you. I know you've heard eat less, move more. But how is that actually done, right? You've heard these things and you're like, yeah, I get that, but I can't like apply that in my life. I can't figure out where I've gone wrong. You have blind spots, totally. We all do. I mean, we all do, really. So those are the habits that we're going to be able to build together with the help of the coach and the medication together. Just because you've been told that all your life doesn't mean you know how to execute that in your real life. And so those are the different habits that you need to learn. And it's possible that you're a person that needs some of that quiet that the medication provides in order to build these long-term habits. Okay, I want to mention one con of these medications as kind of a side note here. There's a lot of talk about the cost of these medications, and that is absolutely true if you are paying cash. But many insurances actually do cover these medications. It's worth checking your coverage and just don't make any assumptions here especially if you have a commercial plan through your employer. So you might also check the formulary during open enrollment, which usually happens at the end of the year, and see if there are certain plans that do provide better pharmaceutical coverage that you can choose. Don't just assume that they are too expensive and that there's no way. For example, I have Blue Cross in California, and my plan covers them if you qualify at a certain BMI, which I think for Blue Cross around here, it's like 20, it's like a 27. So and then they become like the same price as many of the other medications. Honestly, it's been a while since I checked it, but I think it was somewhere around like $50 to $75 a month, depending on dosage. If you have an HR department that you can let them know what drugs you would like to see covered, many times it's the employer's choice of health plan that will determine the formulary. So speak up and let them know what you need. I'm a little bit hesitant to say this because I feel like, don't quote me, but from what I've read, and it is just the internet, but sometimes it's right. Aside from Kaiser, every insurance company can provide coverage if the employer chooses. So it's worth checking and it's worth asking. That said, the program I'm developing specifically to help you if you are on a medication is lower cost than my signature 12-week one-on-one program. There are some group elements to it, and the midweek support looks a little bit different than my premium one-on-one program. But I did that because I know you're already paying at least a copay, sometimes a hefty copay, and maybe cash for these meds. So I wanted to keep that in mind as I created this new program for you. Okay, let's talk about now who might be a bad candidate for GLP-1s. Like if this is you, you should not consider using a GLP-1. If you aren't willing to talk to me about your poop, okay, you should probably not try these medications. The digestive side effects like nausea, constipation are easily mitigated with the right dosage, as well as the right food intake and just a couple of tips and tricks, and I can guide you through that. But if you are not willing to be open and honest about what is going on with your digestion, these aren't for you. You also have to be willing to give up some of your favorite foods to manage the digestion stuff, but also to make the change. If you aren't willing to give up fried foods and lots of bacon, these meds probably aren't for you. If you can't give up your several Diet Cokes a day, you probably shouldn't try these. Carbonated beverages can really cause bloating when you have that slower gastric emptying. This one isn't forever, and some people totally can handle some soda, especially on lower dosages. Honestly, everyone is different, but the point is you've got to be willing to try different things and be open to changing your diet. Generally speaking, if you aren't willing to change what you are eating, don't bother getting a prescription for GLP-1. These drugs are not going to lose the weight for you. If you keep eating the way you are eating, regardless of what medications you have on board, you will stay the same. So something will have to change, and if that's not what you're looking for, that's fine, but I wouldn't pursue these medications. Another person who would be a bad candidate for GLP-1s would be someone who's not willing to do some strength training. I would not recommend these medications if strength training is not your cup of tea. I always recommend strength training to any of my clients, regardless of medication status, but especially to those taking GLP-1s, because you can see more rapid weight loss, and we want to really make sure that you have little to no muscle loss. We can't prevent 100% muscle loss depending on how much weight you have to lose, but there are several strategies, and strength training is the core here. So obviously, if you haven't done any, I will start you at body weight, but in the end, we need to be lifting some heavy things. So this goes beyond those body pump classes. That's an aerobics class. That's and it's some strength training, but we've got to get into the bigger power moves with the lower body to really maintain and build some of the muscle there. So for example, I was talking to a client last week, and she was saying that she often does compound movements like a lunge combined with a press, or a squat combined with a bicep curl, something like that. I can't remember exactly, but they were combination moves with a lower body move and a upper body move with dumbbells. And we were talking about the fact that you can only press so many pounds, but you can squat probably 2 or 3 times that amount. So if you are strength training with small dumbbells, it's a great place to start, but we want to separate out those movements for really stronger muscles and for more building this. We're talking about progressive overload and time under tension and all of those kinds of, strength training concepts, which I'm not going to get into in this episode, but I need you to be willing to increase your weights, right? And to really see some heavy strength training. Okay, another person I wouldn't recommend this for is someone who has a short deadline. Even though they make it easier to stick with good habits, I still want your weight loss to be fairly slow and steady. So I know above I just said, it's going to be faster, and so we want to mitigate the muscle loss. Yes, and I don't want it to be too fast. So typically we are looking for not more than 1 to 2 pounds per week. So if you have 50 pounds to lose, we average the 1 to 2 pounds to 1.5 pounds per week. We're looking at the 8 to 9 month range. If you have a deadline of this July for your cruise to get it all off, that it's too fast. And that's where you start to see the hair loss, the muscle loss, and those are associated with dramatic weight loss, not the medications. So the medications can make you lose weight really fast because, some people just don't eat, which we won't be doing. We won't be doing that. But because they allow you to go on very, very few calories, you can lose weight really fast. And that's where we see some of this, like I said, like the hair loss and the muscle loss. And so we don't want that. We want to be on the very lowest possible dose that's creating an effect for you, and to keep that steady weight at 1 to 2 pounds per week. And it depends on how much you lose or have to lose. If you have a lot to lose, so somewhere in 75 to over 100 pounds to lose, we can see a little bit more, especially right at the beginning. It's okay if you're losing 3 or 4 pounds a week. That's okay at that range. But when you are down, under 75 or 50 pounds to go, then you want to keep it to 1 to 2 pounds per week. So I want you to let it take times to do it safely without a lot of side effects. And also, this is the time we need to build the habits. So if you're looking for a quick fix, this actually isn't it. Okay, I think those are all of the people I would not recommend these medications for. I just want to say to finish up here, I get why you might be keeping your GLP-1 use a secret because you've seen the bullies online and you've seen the people demonizing these like amazing tools. So I just want to say it's okay to want to lose weight, number one. So, and that goes for anyone, whether you choose to use a medication or not. It's okay to use tools that help you. So that be that medication, coaching, personal trainers, dietitians, like nobody's mad at you if you hire a personal trainer, right? Why are they mad at you if you hire like a doctor? It's so weird to me. Like honestly, like writing this, I'm just like, why are people so weird? Why do they shame others for using tools, great things that we have? So anyway, it's just so weird. So those are the things that are okay, but it's not okay to feel alone or unsupported in this process. And that's what getting coaching will change for you. So if you are even slightly considering asking your doctor about medications, or if you are already on one and struggling, the first thing to do is download my GLP-1 starter kit. It will get you started with nutrition, some side effect mitigation, and some mindset work that you will need. So I'm looking to give you the clarity and the support that your doctor cannot. After you grab that kit, go ahead and schedule a free consult session to see if my new GLP-1 specific coaching program is right for you. All the links are, of course, in the show notes. Remember, it's not just about the food, it's about empowering yourself with choices that truly serve you. And I say that every week, but honestly, if medication is the choice that is going to empower you, I want to say you have my full cheerleading support behind you. Have a great week. And as always, thanks for listening and sharing the Eat Well, Think Well, Live Well podcast.